What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 16:05 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from here in the U.S. So we're hearing various reports stating that the Pentagon, that's the U.S. Department of Defense, the U.S. military, wants all the major auto companies in the U.S. to play a bigger role in U.S. defense manufacturing, according to two sources familiar with discussions. Apparently, the Ford Motor Company CEO Jim Farley and General Motors CEO Mary Barra have been involved in discussions with top defense officials about the automakers getting more involved in the production of weapons and military equipment, the Wall Street Journal reported. So Ford CEO, GM CEO, speaking with the Pentagon about, from what I'm hearing, is the Pentagon using Ford and GM factories to produce artillery, vehicles, all different kinds of things. Okay, so this is huge news, and unconfirmed reports are saying that this is to prepare for World War III with Russia and China. And apparently the last time the big automakers in the U.S., Ford and GM, were involved in defense manufacturing was World War II. Okay, so let that sink in. Clearly preparations for a world war. And we have some very concerning news coming in from Russia. Russia's defense ministry says European facilities that manufacture drones are valid targets of strikes. And they specifically mentioned sites in Britain, Germany, Poland, Lithuania, the Netherlands, Israel, and Turkey. Wow. So Russia saying they will strike drone manufacturing facilities outside of Ukraine, in Europe, and even in Israel and Turkey. That is massive breaking news. And we're hearing reports that the U.S. military is planning for a possible Pentagon-led operation in Cuba. And we're hearing that this is in case Trump gives an order to intervene in Cuba. Sources familiar with the order have told USA Today. Okay, so they're planning some kind of operation in Cuba to overthrow the government, you know, basically like a Bay of Pigs invasion, or, you know, something similar to what JFK tried to do. This is very, very serious. And here we have Trump outside the White House today talking about Iran, and he claims that Iran has agreed to stop uranium enrichment and to relinquish their supply of enriched uranium. We don't know if this is true. This is what Trump is saying, though. Take a listen.
The important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
So he thinks something is going to happen soon, something positive. Very interesting. And this update was sponsored by MyPatriot Supply. Guys, MyPatriot Supply is doing a $100 discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you got to go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description down below. The normal price for their 3-month kit is $800, and they're selling it for $700. That's $700 for 3 months of emergency food, up to 2,000 calories per day for 3 months, and it has a shelf life of 25 years, all packed within rugged watertight buckets that don't take up a lot of space. You don't have to worry about rotating anything. You don't have to monitor expiration dates. You don't need a massive place to keep all your food. You can fit all this food in a tiny closet in a studio apartment. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $100 off the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. And there was an agreement made today between Lebanon and Israel, a peace deal for the next 10 days, a ceasefire. But despite that ceasefire, there have been Hezbollah rockets launched into northern Israel just in the last 45 minutes. But Trump announced a 10-day ceasefire starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time today, following what he described as excellent conversations with the Lebanese president, Joseph Aoun, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But what we're hearing is that the Israeli ministers were reportedly outraged after they said that Trump announced the ceasefire deal with Lebanon without waiting for formal approval by the Israeli Security Cabinet. So Trump kind of getting ahead of himself and announcing a ceasefire before the actual Israeli Security Cabinet, formally approved this. Okay, so very concerning. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to just mention something about my channel. So some of you guys may already be aware about this. Twitter suspended my account for unknown reasons. And here you can see what it says when I try to go into my account. It says your account is suspended. So what I'm asking you guys to do is to flood Twitter. Ask Elon Musk to reinstate my account. I need hundreds to thousands of you guys. I know 15 to 30,000 of you guys watch my videos every single day. I need you guys to go onto Twitter, tag Elon Musk. His handle is at Elon Musk, one word, at Elon Musk. Tag him, or send him a message. Go under his latest post and just blow up his X, okay, with asking him to reinstate me. Okay, I want to see thousands of comments asking him to reinstate my account. This is just totally insane. I can't imagine that I was doing anything that bad for my account to be suspended. I mean, you guys know me by now, okay? I'm an upstanding citizen. I don't have any felonies. This is just totally insane. So I need your help to help get my account reinstated on Twitter. Please flood Elon Musk's Twitter. And also wanted to quickly mention stevequail.com. If you guys are not familiar with who Steve Quail is, he's been around for a very long time. And he shouts out my channel quite often on his website. And so I wanted to just give thanks to Steve Quail for shouting my videos out continuously. Please check out his channel. Check out some of his sponsors. He does a lot of cool stuff related to UFOs and Bible prophecy, all different kinds of things, current events, a lot of the stuff that I cover. He's a great guy, so check out Steve Quail at stevequail.com. And a military advisor to Iran's supreme leader warned that Iran would target and sink U.S. ships in the Strait of Hormuz if Washington attempts to police the waterway. Wow, so we do have this blockade in effect right now. All of Iran's ports are being blockaded, and it's not just oil, it's every single ship going to and from Iran is being stopped by the U.S. Navy. So that could potentially escalate the whole situation. And if you look at history, okay, history repeats itself. Every single major war always started with some kind of blockade or embargo, okay? And the U.S. Central Command said that in the first 48 hours of the blockade, they stopped apparently 9 vessels, and those vessels complied with directions to turn around and return to Iranian ports or offshore anchorage areas. And the U.S. Central Command posted a video of a U.S. warship making a broadcast on Marine VHF Channel 16 to ships about the blockade of Iran. So they're actually broadcasting out messages to all the ships in the area that, listen, there is a blockade in effect, okay? So this is historic, guys. This is a historic blockade. This is the second major war that we have going on in the world. First, it was Eastern Europe. Now we have the Middle East. Next, it's going to be Asia, which could happen within the next year or two. Okay, so this is all biblical, guys. These wars spreading around the world, and ultimately it's going to lead to World War III. We have the U.S. preparing for World War III already. Okay, Trump wants to double the defense budget for next year. Okay, $1.5 trillion for 2027, and now he's asking the big automakers in the U.S. to prepare for war, to help the U.S. prepare for war. So something is about to go down. And in a post on his Truth Social app, U.S. President Donald Trump said that China has agreed not to send weapons to Iran, following reports that China was preparing to send man-pads, man-portable air defense systems to Iran via a third-party nation. Yeah, we'll see if that's actually true. And we're also hearing that Iran secretly used a Chinese spy satellite that gave its military new capability to target U.S. military bases across the Middle East. Sources tell the Financial Times. So this is very serious, guys. China literally helping Iran to target U.S. military bases. We also heard that Russian radars were helping Iran. Russian spy satellites were helping Iran. Okay, so in much of the same way how we help Ukraine to strike Russia with intelligence, specifically geospatial intelligence, Russia and China were doing that with Iran, okay? And a senior U.S. official said the U.S. has yet to agree to an extension of the U.S.-Iran ceasefire, which lasts another week. And the Russian Security Council warned that U.S. negotiations with Iran may be a cover for a ground invasion. And Israeli forces will not withdraw from the territory it currently holds in southern Lebanon as part of the Trump-mediated Lebanon-Israel ceasefire, citing senior Israeli officials. The ceasefire will follow a similar format to the November 2024 Hezbollah-Israel deal, in which Israel retained the rights to continue airstrikes and carry out assassinations across Lebanon, as per Israeli Channel 12. So, very interesting. And a senior Israeli official told I-24 News that the Israeli Defense Force will remain deployed in southern Lebanon alongside the ceasefire. And Trump announced that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Lebanese President Joseph Aoun will meet at the White House in the next 4 to 5 days. Very interesting. And a massive fire broke out at the Viva Energy refinery in Australia, which leaves Australia with only one operating refinery. The refinery processed around 120,000 barrels per day and supplied around 10% of Australia's fuel supply. Notably, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has already called on citizens to ration fuel amid a global oil shortage following the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. It sounds like sabotage to me. And Ukrainian drones struck the oil facility at the port of Tuapse in Russia's Krasnodar Krai region early this morning. So, massive oil facility struck by Ukraine. And Ukraine unveiled its new domestically produced missile, the Ariane. It carries a warhead of up to 120 kilograms and has a range of 600 kilometers. Wow. And the USS Gerald Ford aircraft carrier has now been on deployment for 295 days, breaking the record for the longest carrier deployment since the collapse of the Soviet Union. The ship originally departed Naval Station Norfolk, Virginia on the 24th of June 2025 before being extended and moved to the Caribbean Sea to assist with Operation Absolute Resolve, the mission to capture Nicolas Maduro. Upon a successful mission, its deployment was again extended and it was redeployed to the Red Sea to assist with Operation Epic Fury, which forced it to retreat to Greece for repairs. It has since completed its repairs and is now in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. The carrier is now only 37 days away from breaking the longest carrier deployment record since 1964. It will likely come close or even beat this record by the time it returns home to Virginia. So this is huge news, guys. The Gerald Ford is literally going to break all the records for the longest deployment of an aircraft carrier. Okay, that's very, very ominous. And former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax killed his wife and himself in an overnight murder-suicide at their home in Fairfax County, Virginia, police said Thursday morning. And former Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says that after being repeatedly called a traitor by President Trump, her children received very serious death threats. When she contacted Trump about it, he scolded her, had no compassion, and told her she would be responsible if her son were killed. Wow. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight with some more breaking news. I will be doing a live stream later, so tune in later on for a live stream, probably 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern time. I know it's been a while since I posted a video update. I have a lot of things going on in my personal life that I'm trying to take care of, especially over the next couple of weeks. But I will be resuming my normal schedule starting tonight with updates and live streams. And make sure you guys are following me on Patreon if you want to support this channel and continue to see these regular updates. Go to my Patreon. You can watch all these videos without advertisements, and then I also post extra content there, and I always post these updates first on Patreon before I post anywhere else. So until later on, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video.